Okay, perfect. Let's just run an example of how when we match up our ideal client to our signature offer, and then we start putting our content out in our social media, we have the ability to literally walk people down the path to the sale. This is what this example is going to be like. I'm going to use some examples that I found in my social media this morning of artists. Like I have a super curated social media. So everything that happens in my social media is because I have connected with my dreamiest, beautiful, most wonderful future customers. Okay. I see that you guys are posting all of the success stories, and I'm watching that you guys are like winning awards, you're in galleries, and you want to be able to take that really powerful information and leverage it to close more sales offline and online. Okay, so let me go ahead and share this. And so while I was talking to you guys, I was checking out your social media so that you know when you see that, you're like, yep. Okay. All right. I am just going, I'm not even going to worry about launching it. You're going to see all my notes and everything here. These are literally posts that were in my feed today. We have, this is Kate. She won an award at one of her one of her show events. I believe this was in Utah. We have Jules, who won a merit award. And I don't remember who this is. It's too small. I can't see it, but she's in front of her tent at a show. Okay. She's a selling artist. She looks beautiful and she looks amazing. Okay. These all popped up as well. 2 paintings in a gallery, super excited. I didn't include the names on all of these just because not everybody is here at the meeting. I saw people who were like, look, I sold a piece of artwork and look how happy they are. Oh my gosh, look how happy they are. Here's a testimonial, someone who spent a lot of time really putting together a beautiful testimonial from the words of her client. I know you guys are selling. I know that you have success online and offline. Here's someone else who's like, oh my gosh, I'm in the 3rd annual AS Association member online exhibit, right? Perfect. I'm happy to have received 3rd place in this. How do we use this content to actually blow up our sales? Because most of the time, I could tell you, except for one of these people in here, they didn't have any follow-up attached to it, and they're not able to close any additional sales by leveraging the power of some of the most simple, basic things that we can be sharing in our social media. Okay. So how do we use posts like this to find more leads? Because most of us, that's where the very first place that we're struggling. We're struggling to find more leads. And it comes down to as simple as your artwork isn't in front of enough people with the right content. Okay. It's more than your picture. Okay. It's the story that you're going to be telling. It's the understanding everything that your client needs to say yes. That's what we build out in Content Creation Club. That's why I spend one day every week with artists to make sure they're building out the content that not only gets people's attention, but gets them to take action. Okay. This is what we talked about on Wednesday of last week. So if you want a deeper dive onto the problem to solution and how we take our message from the message that everybody has, posting pictures and price, that's what everybody's doing. Okay. It's no different. You're not standing out like a professional artist. We need to move to the place where our message is YUM, which just stands for your unique market message. Okay. Not going to redo the training, but I want you to know that it's sitting inside a day 2 replay if you want to catch more about how to do this. Okay. It all comes down to this foundational process of, instead of talking about our artwork and how much it cost, we start talking about our artwork and how it changes lives. I'm going to grab some of the notes, okay, that I took from the 3 of the artists you shared today. It brings out the inner child. Your ideal customer wants to have fun as well. Like that's a problem to solution. There's also I'm finding the notes here. The reflection in the water, people were saying to Isabel, oh my gosh, I don't know what it is, but it just makes me feel calm. It makes me feel good. There's another. We know that in a crazy world that we're living in, people need peace and calm. Okay. Kelly is talking a lot about I'm looking at, you told me what your artwork is about. I didn't take enough notes, but I know that your artwork is mixed media. It allows for you to kind of work through your own anxieties potentially. That's why I paint. When I'm the most anxious, that's when I go into my studio and produce my most amazing stuff, right? People can see that in your artwork, and that could be the problem to solution, is they just literally enjoy your artwork so much because it stands for a connection point with something bigger than themselves. Okay. So we did a whole exercise again on Wednesday of last week that showed you how to get to your problem to solution. So don't miss that. Okay. We have to connect our signature offer. That's our artwork. Okay. Our artwork is a combination, or our signature offer is a combination of our artwork. It's a combination of who we are, and it's also a combination of who our client is. So we have to connect our signature offer to our signature message. Okay, so this is where I'm going to kind of pop into an example. Okay. This is 2 more posts that were posted out there this week. We have on the left someone who's like, oh my gosh, I'm in this amazing gallery. And you better believe I recycle this post right here. You can tell I'm years younger than what I am right now, but I still recycle this picture. Okay. The first time I saw my artwork in TJ Maxx, because I have art licensing agents, I was like, literally, I made my husband take 105 pictures of me holding it, trying to like get the right look on my face that didn't look like I was over the moon. And then I went, should I buy it? I still had the original. Like, do you think I bought it? Right? I'm not going to share with you whether I bought that from TJ Maxx or not. All right. Because it's part of the big secret. But when we create and leverage the power of our successes and we strategically put it inside of our social media, we have the ability to start closing sales. Okay. So I'm going to share with you my personal profile. Let me move this. Inside of my personal profile, every single day, my feed is not full of, and I'm going to say it. My feed is not full of shit because I do not click on shit. I don't want to see more of crap out there. So people who tell you, Facebook is just full of all kinds of gross stuff, and I don't want to be in social media because there's not anything good happening in social media. We curate what gets put in our feed. So I always kind of smile when someone like goes, you're working in social media, that's just full of losers and people who are complaining. I laugh because mine is totally curated with the things I want to see, because I'm clicking on the things that I want to see. Okay. We can start curating our social media feed when we are strategic about really connecting with the right people. Okay. You're going to see, I have artwork after artwork after artwork after artwork. Okay. This is what you're seeing right now. This isn't pre-recorded. This is literally I all day long, and people that I want to learn from. There's Molly Mahoney and everything. I mean, like literally, oh, here's one, right? Tracy Miller. Wow. She got an honorable mention. Okay. Because this is what I want to see. Now, if I was going after pet portraits, I would curate my feed. It would take me about a week and a half to curate my feed. So I would see all the people with their pets and their dogs and just loving on their dogs and their family. If I was going after people who wanted to like have more nature scenery, I would curate my feed so that people who are going on hikes, going on great vacations, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to show you guys how to curate your feed so that the people that you want to work with, what they're doing is showing up in your social media. And then you know what you're doing and what you're posting is showing up in their social media. Okay. So I spend a lot of time doing that, but I also kind of give you the insight to how we do this. Okay. Because we need a tool all that, if we do this all manually, it's going to take you hours upon hours. And this is why it's so important. Everything that we post has to be intentional. It has to be that problem to solution. It has to be giving people everything they need to say yes. Okay. And you're going to notice in my social media that I do talk a lot about selling artwork and really serving my ideal clients. I also talk about fun things. This is my husband. We go to Belize a lot. So you're going to see a lot of Belize information, talking about how grateful I am because I'm also a person. And in my social media, when I show up with like gratitude and when I show up as a real live person, people no longer think that this is a bot, right? I use bots, but they're like, okay, this isn't just a business. So I actually have to use my manners. Okay. So people who are rude because they think, oh, it's just a business and I'm going to be rude, I block them. I get them out of my social media. Okay. Where I'm specifically putting content inside of my social media in what's called a powerhouse combination, a certain order of posts that allow for me to get engagement. And then like people share my stuff. Like here's someone who's like, oh my gosh, this is the post, right? Look at Ren. Here's my post. Here's someone who's sharing it saying, you've got to check out this person. She's amazing. Okay. You want to buy artwork? Here's someone to buy artwork from. Okay. So that when I start posting I have artwork in here as well. When I start posting my artwork, which posts daily in here right now, I want you to see the engagement. Okay. Here's a piece of artwork along with just a quote. Okay. This one isn't like price and picture, but look at how many people liked it. 147 people. Okay. This is 147 people who engaged in my artwork, and I'm only going to look for 20 people who would like to purchase this style of artwork. And you better believe that I'm going to start creating the follow-up process starting right here to close sales. Not every single post is going to get me someone who is interested in purchasing my artwork. The combination creates the ability to do this. Okay. So I'm going to be using a tool that integrates straight in with the champagne room. So when I'm over here, look at all the people who are talking about the artwork. When I just hover over their name and I pop over here, Marge Smith, I just collected her interest in that post. And I'm going to put her inside of my tool, which then I can she's inside of a pipeline called ABC, July 23. And I can literally go and say, okay, she is now engaged with me on this topic. Okay. So now what do I have? The ability to send this person an email sequence based on this called my mother-daughter series. Oh my goodness. I saw that thank you so much for the social media love on my mother-daughter series. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay. I'm keeping it really simple. I would literally build out a better email sequence than that, but it is as simple as that. Thank you for your social media love. This is still available. If you have questions, call to action. Okay. But if you're not using a tool that keeps everything aligned, you don't have the ability to do that. Okay. So we talked a lot about, so I'm just gonna stop sharing unless you guys have questions. Does anybody have a question about what I'm doing here? Like, look, my daughter's turned 23. I've been posting in social media since forever. Okay. But I need people to see that even though I'm talking about things like, oh my gosh, happy July, what exciting adventures are on the way. Okay. When I look in here, I know exactly what people are queuing up to purchase artwork and what people are queuing up to purchase working with me as a consultant. And when I see these names in here, I'm like, yep, what I'm doing is still being put into their social media, and I'm tracking all of this. It only takes me a couple minutes to move it into my tool, or I could write all their names down on a piece of paper and then I could keep it in a spreadsheet. That's really manual. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing. I see I have a couple people with hands up because I think I may have hit on like, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. I spent a whole week sharing with you the big process. And then I shared like why branding is so important and then why follow up. So this demo showed you why you have to be putting the right content in your social media. And when you get engagement, you have to have a tool that allows for you to be able to follow up. Okay. So, Brittany, I see you have your hand up, and then, Kelly. So I'm going to grab Brittany first and then Kelly. I think Brittany's putting her hair in a pony.
So for the tool, do we manually have to put that information and plug it in, or is it like automated? How does
Yeah.
that?
Did you see how like I just hovered over it and then that tool
Uh-huh.
slid aside and then I just literally moved them to the part of the funnel that they're in? That's the CRM. Okay.
And did you have to set up those, I guess, little things that you plugged them into? Did
Yeah.
you
I
like
mean, you have to create
reset
your
that
pipe.
up?
Right. So the tool has a plug and play already. I've set up your pipelines for you, and
Mm-hmm.
they're really generic, right? Because each one
Mm-hmm.
of you is going to run a different funnel. Okay. If you just have a lead funnel, which is pretty much what we have pre-built for you, it's going to say engaged in social media. Okay. Have their email address. You move them to a new bucket, right? You could see how we can move them to a new bucket. Then when you move them to each stage, you can literally have a message go out into Messenger or a Facebook, I'm not sorry, a Facebook, an email sequence that went out that gave them what they needed to move to the next bucket, which might be like, join my group, grab a call with me, depending on what your funnel looks like. Okay. Every step closer to you is closer to closing a sale.
Okay.
And that's why we use sales funnels. That's why I spent a whole day talking about sales funnels. And I know people are like, oh, sales funnels. But if you don't
Does
understand
that,
them,
oh,
then
sorry.
yeah, go for it.
Does that automatically like, so when you get their email, is that like their like Facebook email or something that Facebook has, or do you like have
We
to
need lead
ask them for
magnets.
that?
Yeah, we're going to need lead magnets. Facebook doesn't share email unless you run ads, but I can show you
Okay.
how to do that. Like that's a really
Okay.
fast way to get emails. And that's included on like month 4, how to run
Okay.
get emails.
Okay.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Do you know how many emails I collect without having to pay a penny for a Facebook ad? Like tons. And that's exactly what we want to run a system that is running organic. And when you're ready, if you want to run Facebook ads, then we collect, my goodness, we can collect in 2 weeks 1,000 email addresses if that's what you want to do. It's an right, whichever
I want
system.
to do whatever works.
I'm going to give a fair warning here. If we're running Facebook ads, it's because we're running a launch funnel because we're going to drive people to a sales event where we're going to sell. I don't want you just collecting email addresses because it's fun to collect them. That's not like stickers where you just, like kind of like we want you to run ads because you know that in that group of people, you're going to have 10, 20 people are going to purchase, and it's going to make you, if you're charging $1,000 per piece of artwork, it's going to, you're going to make $10,000. So that's when we run ads, it's specific to close. It's not just for the fun of running to get more email addresses. I mean, you can, I wouldn't
Right.
recommend it. I want you to make money on your email address. So
Right. Thank you.
you're welcome. Yeah. Would love to work with you, Brittany, just to get that tool set up. So the tool creates the whole entire accountability and framework. That's why I've added it into the big transformation product. It literally will be like you're building out your lead magnet. Okay, that's what we do first. Your next question after it's built out, you're like, okay, where do I use it? Show you exactly where you use it. We used to build everything out manually, and then I showed you how to use the tool. And what ended up happening is people just were like, it was so much more physical work to run a lead magnet on your own, writing down all, like you saw 147 names. I've done it. I did it for 3 years before I used the tool. You write down all your names right? And then you got to go type them into a spreadsheet. And then every single time that someone has more purchase intent, you got to find their name on the spreadsheet and you got to add another tag. It's highly time consuming. So this tool is what's solving that problem. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Brittany. Awesome. Okay, Kelly, you have your hand up too.
Yeah. So when you were going through and doing, well, you said a couple things. When you were going through and looking at the comments and then also saying you block people who aren't like nice, but I mean, so a lot of the comments I get on my art and different things are from people who are like, post this on, such and such to promote, or, like, and so that's a lot of what I'm getting.
Is that Instagram? Is it Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I probably would move you over to Facebook.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Instagram, and someone also, I do like Etsy. I like old school Etsy. I'm not a big fan of Etsy anymore, just because when someone put my artwork in their cart and right before they were going to put their credit card in there, then Etsy pops in, oh, by the way, there's an artist who has a similar piece of artwork with a similar color for a lower price. Thank you. Like when they started moving to that direction, I recognized I wasn't their client, that they really don't care about me. I'm a vendor, and they don't even treat me as a vendor very well. So that's the only reason I walk away from Etsy. If you're spending time finding leads and you're spending money finding leads, and then you send them to a place that actually literally takes your clients out of a cart, I want you to be able to control that process. And we can do it again in our offline funnel inside of that tool, or in our online funnel, which could be as simple as a Facebook group, which is free. There's no charge for a Facebook group, but we can put everybody into a Facebook group. I mean, you saw it, you lived it. Okay. This last week in the challenge was exactly what I'm going to show you how to do. I put 800 people into a funnel, knowing that most of the people aren't ready for what I'm offering them. Okay. But I used that whole week to find the people who are like, oh, boom, she's going to charge us now. Well, of course I'm going to charge you, because I pay a whole staff of people to serve you guys for a whole, for 6 months, right? If you don't want to work with me, don't shame me. I'm providing you with the opportunity to, I'm going to tell you what I'm charged for this. If you had an accountability coach, it'd be $2,000 a month. If you had a strategy coach, they're $3,000 a month. If you want to learn how to use a sales funnel, there's another $3,000 a month. Okay. I pay all those people to serve you in this environment for a fraction of you piecemealed it together. So there's a little soapbox. I apologize for the soapbox. Just kind of still irks me when people are like, wait, you're going to charge me now? If I want what you have and you're going to charge me? Well, yeah, I have to, because I actually have to pay the Facebook ads manager. I actually have to pay all the people who are providing the support for you guys. I can't tell them, oh, I need you to work for me for a whole year for free. Like, because everybody wants you to work for free. So I'm sorry, again, soapbox, but what I want for you guys to be able to do here is see that you have to have a system. I can't have you automate if you don't have a system. And so many artists come to me and just are like, I want passive income. I want rinse and repeat. And when I show them the system they have to set up, they'll say, here's the first complaint. That sounds like a lot of time. I'm like, yeah, it is if you do it manually. So that's why we have the tool. Okay. So this is like kind of, no one out there's doing this, not in the art community. For Patricia, you're a life coach. I know you've seen this. I know you've seen sales funnels. I know that you like your competition. If you're not using these tools, your competition is. But for artists, guys, no one's using this stuff yet. Crazy. And it's going to throw you light years ahead of your competition. So.
He's really manipulating Storm.
Someone's sitting here. Kendall, do you have a question?
Oh,
All right. Anybody else have questions? Okay. If you haven't grabbed a clarity call with me, because a couple of folks here have, if you haven't and you're still here and you're interested, it's time to grab a clarity call. I'm going to help you. Like I showed 3 of you kind of where you need to work first. Okay. Where you need to work first, but almost everybody here needs full transformation. Okay. So we need to first get in front of more people, build our email and our social media following. We have to have the right content. So I showed you a bunch of posts in my personal profile. It's layered in there in a specific way to talk to my ideal customer and give them everything they need to say yes, whether they're purchasing artwork or coaching. I've layered it in there. It's super complex way that when I want to sell artwork, I know where to go to look for my leads there. And when I want to sell, like I want to work with more artists because I have more spots, then I'm going to look for them. Okay. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And that's what we need to be doing. Okay. The tool is optional. So if you don't want to purchase the tool, if you just want to understand the system first, I'm 1,000% behind just understanding how and what you're doing before you pay for an automation on it. But if you're the type of business owner or the type of person who's like, no, give me the tool for the structure, we're now offering that. Okay. So you can buy the tool by itself, or you can, if you purchase the program, I'm paying for the tool for you. Okay. All right. So let me give you really quickly, does anybody need the link to book a call? Okay. Here it is. I need to do it a hyperlink. I have some appointments open on Friday. I think that's all that I have left right now. I'll probably open up next week. So if you want to, okay, this should be a hyperlink. Yeah. Okay. If you want to grab a call with me, again, you might be able to catch some on Friday. I haven't looked recently, and then they'll open up for next Monday. If you get on the calendar right now, I'm going to lock in the early action bonuses, but those go away tonight. So the program is $12K and you work with me for 6 months. Okay. We're going to build out your whole system. Early action bonus is going to get it as low as $9,000. I'm going to take $3,000 off, $2,000 if you pay in full, and then another $1,000 to cover your champagne room if you want me to cover your champagne room. Okay, so after today, if you're not on the calendar, the price goes back to $12,000. Okay, so if you're even just considering it, grab one of those clarity calls. It's just going to be worth it. Okay, any questions before I head out today? We good? If you do, just unmute. Yeah, just unmute. I think someone has.
I had texted a couple in the chat box, but it was a question of like during the full transformation process, do we file for an EIN? Because I didn't do one for my business yet, technically.
So we'll talk a little bit about stuff like that during what's called the ARC session, right? So once a week, I meet with you guys also to look at your business plans. That's a bookkeeper / like tax question. Okay. You don't need, you can file your taxes under your Social Security because you're then a sole entrepreneur. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't go into details because every single state has different rules, so I can't give any coaching on how to set up an EIN or any of that stuff. It's really state specific. Fortunately, I know that personally because I just moved to a new state. It's not fun. But you don't have
You said you're in DC now?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
I love it's Virginia. I do like it. I look outside now and it's just like huge apartment buildings. I grew up in the Midwest in the burbs, so it's very different. It's exhausting. But yeah, but just so you know, you'll need a business license. That's different too than your EIN number. Okay, so.
Okay. Do we go through that process during the 6 months about the business licensing?
You are responsible for paying taxes and getting your business ready to sell on your own. Okay.
Okay.
If you do have questions, you can bring them in, but it'll be really general like this. It'll be like, yes, you need a business license. Yes, you need to pay taxes.
Okay. But I can do it under my name as
As
a
a sole rep.
freelancer, essentially. Okay. And then the other question was, do we build out like a website? Does it like come with a website, or do we just do it with our socials?
So the tool does come with a website.
Okay. And do we have like an ongoing bill for that website after the fact when we get like we pay for the domain after the 6 months or whatever? How does that
So,
work?
right. Okay. So great question. So remember, the tool is just like if you were buying an email platform, if you're buying a CRM, if you're buying the calendar, all of those things have separate bills in what we call a tool stack. So the Champagne Room has all of it in one place for just $347 a month. Okay.
So it's included in that 340?
347. Now, they'll
Okay.
ask you when you come on board, be like, what domain do you want to use? Right? Where do you want to host? Like, where are you going to put your website? You don't need GoDaddy to host it. You don't need any of that stuff, but you will need a domain like brittanyparks.com or, right?
Mhm.
You'll need to buy that. And that's typically $12 a year, but you will
Okay.
need to have a domain. You're hosting right on the platform. So you don't then need to worry about, the hosting platform, the PHP updates, the security, all that stuff is taken care of in the platform. I know I'm kind of like talking a little techie stuff. Above this tool, the only additional tech stacks you're going to need, okay? You will need to pay for a domain. You just got to claim it. You got to tell Google like no one else can have it, okay?
Okay.
You get 14,000 emails included every month. Okay. If you're sending out, let's just say your email list is 10,000 people or maybe 20,000 people, it's only $12 for every additional, no, it's $10 for every additional 14,000 emails that you need to send out. Still cheaper than Active Campaign. That's going to run you $500 a month. Okay. So you might need to do a little bit of research. Your business may not be at the place where it was like mine, where I was spending $1,500 a month on my tool stack. And then when I moved it over into the Champagne Room, it reduced to $347 a month. I was like, what the heck? I just added $12,000 of profit by simply moving to a tool that's more affordable. Okay. If you're not yet spending $347 a month because your business isn't big enough yet, my goal is to get it big enough. We're going to get it big enough. You're going to get to the place where you're going to have 5,000 email addresses. Now, right there, just an Active Campaign is $350 a month. Okay. Just with your email, period. So a lot of people are like, I'm walking away because I don't have to spend any money on my email because I haven't built any emails. And then they ask me why they're not selling enough. I'm like, how many emails you have, right? It's a big catch-22. So just like do the research. The best part about the Champagne Room, I'm going to put this in here. I know Brittany, I already gave this to you, but I want everybody to have it. I want you to check out the Champagne Room. Melissa Ricker, Google her too. See how big she is and see how she's changing the lives of entrepreneurs who are selling 7 figures and beyond. She explains every single tool that's inside of the Champagne Room and what the cost would be if you bought it like piecemealed, if you bought it outside. Okay. So
after we spoke last time, just so the other people on the live have reference, you were talking about CRM, so I was just like looking up CRM, and just that by itself was like $155. So when you get the whole stack, it like really does make more sense.
Yeah.
Financially.
So, if you guys, and this is one of the things, this is for some of the other folks who are here, like who already are running some businesses, because I know some, okay, here's just so you know, here's the link. I popped it in here for the Champagne Room. I even said it in my social media. I'm like, I never buy anything until I understand what I'm buying. So I want you guys to have as much tools and information as possible. Okay. So your CRM, if you have one that you're already married to, or if you have a website that you build on like WordPress or somewhere and you're married to it, I was married to ClickFunnels for a year longer than I should have been. Right. Paying $300 to ClickFunnels because I just was so comfortable with the tool. And I was like, no, I'm not going to use the sales funnel tools inside of the champagne room because I really like Russell Brunson. I like what he does. But I was like, finally I had to say, I'm sorry, ClickFunnels, that's $300 a month. I'd rather have in my pocket because the champagne room. Okay. So sometimes it doesn't follow logic. Right. So I want to let you guys know if you're like, I still pay for a hosting of a website, the traditional one that doesn't have the ability to close sales, because I've had it since 2010 and
It's emotional. You put a lot of time and work and effort into it. It's hard to let go.
So I'm just going to say I've been there and I'm just about ready to say goodbye to GoDaddy and be like, I'm really sorry, GoDaddy. Right. And the traditional website, because I can set it up inside of the champagne room and I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, it's going to take a lot of time to reset it up. And then I did one page. It took me 15 minutes and I'm like, well, I only have 3 other pages to go. Maybe an hour is worth saving the money on the traditional website. Plus I have someone who's managing that website. I'm going to save way more than the GoDaddy fee. I'm going to also save, maybe I'm afraid to tell my graphic designer that I don't need her help anymore. Maybe
that's probably it. You build relationships.
So. You build relationships. So, all right. Any other questions before we head out today? Are we good? Okay. All right. Awesome. So I gave you the link. If you want to grab a call, please do that. And we'll just take a look at what you guys need to do next. Whether you come on board or not, I just want you to know that I absolutely love doing this. Okay. I want you to have the transformation. And in my free zone, I just can't give you the transformation because I literally need to work with you every week in order to help you get that transformation. So we also, the full price, the full transformation right now is only $9,000. If we grab a call and you only want to build out your brand, okay, just know it can't get any worse. Okay. So if you're just I only need brand, I'm not worried about follow-up right now. I'll get you just into the brand. We'll build your brand. Okay. So cool. All right, guys, really good hanging out with you this afternoon. And, if you have any questions, you also can reach me in my Facebook Messenger if you want to pop out some questions for me. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your time.
Oh, thank you. Bye.